But tell me, like, now I want to step in and want to understand your mentality. Like in that moment in the Olympic event, like next minute's gonna be so much important.
Yeah.
And then you also know that one of the contestant is like legend there in whole sports world, like the Usain Bolt. Did you like feel excited to compete against Usain Bolt, or did you feel like scared? What's the athlete feel like when like there's some guy like who's really looking for a win, and I'm
Yeah.
sure like you're looking for win as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I think once you get to a certain level, man, I'll say this: it's like a big poker game, right? Because everybody's nervous,
Hmm.
right? Because I think nerves is a good thing. If you aren't nervous about doing something that you enjoy doing or passionate about or love to do, you don't really care that much, right?
Okay.
You got to be able to nurture the nerves, right? It means you're alive. It means you're excited. It means that like you care about this thing. And so at the games, everybody's feeling that way, but it's the one who is able to keep their composure, right? So the thing about the Olympic Games, man, is, from the outside looking in, people see all of these sprinters and these athletes, these jumpers, and all these athletes coming together. But in reality, we competed against those guys probably a month ago, right? 2 months ago. We
Yeah.
we compete against them throughout the years. So it's really nothing new. The only thing that changed is the stage, right? The stage is this big glamorous thing, but we already raced those guys. So when you get to the games, I was never thinking about scared or who was in my race. I was thinking of, if I want to advance and get to the final, I got to focus on me, right? Because one of the things that helps people and not helps people at the Olympic Games is who is able to guard their focus. The Olympic Games is so much going on, right?
Hmm.
You're going there, uh, you have free food. McDonald's is open 24/7. It doesn't close. You have people coming in, your family's coming in, they're calling you, hey son, hey daughter, I need some tickets. And you're like, I don't want to have to deal with the tickets right now. I'm trying to compete, right? So all of these things is the distractions of it, but you want to get to a point where you have to guard your focus and not get too distracted in the external things so you can internally dial in. So for me, man, every single thing that I did, I would just say, you know what? I just got to lock in for these next 2 weeks, just 2 weeks. I got to lock in for, and good things will happen if I can stay locked into these 2 weeks, man. But what helps most athletes at those big games and those pressure situations is the ability to guard your focus. Whoever guards their focus the best usually does well.
Man, like, yeah, this is the another perspective. Like, it's not like you competing with them like for the first time. You are competing them for a long time. But tell me about it, and I'm pretty sure like your fans already asked this question a lot of time. But tell me like what it feels like standing inside of an Olympic stadium when like thousands of people coming from different nations,
Yeah.
cheering their contestant, cheering their country, and you also know like on top of it millions of eyes watching you on the television. Is it like a different pressure? Like, tell me about it.
Man, I think that pressure, the different pressure just comes from within yourself, right? Because you can
Mm.
feed so much into the hype, right? Because you're getting all the text messages. People are messaging you on social media, Twitter, Instagram, they're tagging you with stuff, right? And when you see that stuff, feel you can feel pressure, right? Because you're like, man, everybody's watching, everybody's doing this. Like you can feel those things. But when you're going and standing at the stadium, man, um, I was there in 2012 and I was there in 2016. 2012, um, I did not take a moment to enjoy it.
Mhm.
2016, I did. Right. So when I was going to my line, I took a moment, I stepped back and I was looking around the stadium and I could see flags from everywhere. I could see, Jamaican flag. And I almost got too much into the Jamaican side because I'm dual citizen, right? So, but I'm running for Canada, so I got to stay focused on the Canadian side. But you see Jamaican flag, you see the American flag, you see the Swedish flag, you see the Indian flag, you see so many different countries, so many different things. Even though they're speaking a different language, they're all saying the same thing,
Yeah.
right? They're all cheering. and it's loud. But I'll tell you this, Harpreet, man, it it should have seemed loud, but it was quiet. And I say that because you are so focused and so tapped in that you hear everything, but you don't hear everything. You hear your thoughts, right? You hear what you want to hear, because I heard some Canadians saying, go Canada, like I heard that stuff. But when I got to my line, I did my block start. And once I was ready to go, you got to shut all that off. And the only thing that you should hear is the gun. When the gun goes, you go, right? Even as loud as the stadium was and it was rocking, it was jumping, it was still quiet, because you know you still had a job to do. And if you feed too much in the noise of the stadium at the wrong time, the results aren't going to come. You got to make sure you time it correctly.
Wow, I can't imagine like in those crowd, like if you start at a wrong time, oh, that would be like a whole different pressure.
Yeah, man. I remember in the heats of the 4x1, there was I forgot what country he was from. I want to say he was from Ecuador, but they had a team below us, right? And I remember getting in the blocks and looking over, doing a practice block start. I remember walking back, and this Ecuadorian athlete, he was standing at the blocks, but he looked so nervous. He just looked like something was off. And I
Yeah.
looked him in the face, and he looked down at me, and I was like, man, you need to like calm your nerves. Like, it's gonna be okay. And we got in the blocks, and the starter said, on your marks, set. And then all of a sudden the sirens come on. Usually the sirens come on when something happened, like a false start. And I look over, and the Ecuadorian athlete is ahead of me. And I was like, oh man, he false started, right? We finished the race, we got advanced to the finals. And when we were walking back to our tent, this Ecuadorian athlete was sitting on the steps in complete tears. And I felt so bad for him. But at the same time, I'm still here to do my job, right? And I remember just putting my shoulder on him, um, because I understood the feeling, right? You work so hard for this specific moment,
Yeah.
and then it doesn't go like how you thought it would, right? So it's so much good stories you hear about the Olympic Games, but there is so much of those stories as well too.